Welcome everybody, 2017 Total Solar Eclipse across America. Meteorologist Nick Stewart. We are live in Kingdom City, Missouri, minutes away from the start of at least the partial eclipse. As I open up my clock here, we are just minutes away, really. Local time 11:44 and 6 seconds. First contact 11:46 and 27 seconds. So we're about 2 or so minutes away. People are definitely getting really excited for the eclipse. Let's start off though with a look at the parking lot. This is a view over Kingdom City. This is the City Hall parking lot. You can see a lot of people have really filled in the last couple of minutes. Everyone setting up their telescopes and cameras, everyone having viewing glasses. I haven't seen a lot of people asking for viewing glasses anymore. I think most people here have either given up or have found a pair by this point in time. So let's start off with a look through our camera right now in Kingdom City. This is what it looks like in about 2 minutes or so. We're going to see that moon beginning to creep into the image. Right now, the moon is essentially invisible. It's there. We have no idea it's actually there. It's completely invisible in the sky, but as soon as it hits the sun, that's when it will start to light up. And again, that should be almost any minute now across the tri-state. So we're just going to leave that camera up on full so you can watch. We'll watch together as it begins to creep on into that picture. I can tell people are getting pretty excited. A lot of people are starting to walk around. People are kind of assuming their position for the start of the total solar eclipse. And in case you're wondering, yes, it is absolute Nerdville here. It's absolutely fantastic, and I'm in love with where I am right now. Cloud cover for now. We have kind of high, thin clouds rolling on through the area. So far, not too bad. We have some more clouds pushing in from our west that may hinder us a little bit later. For now, though, we're sitting pretty comfortably across the tri-states. So, we're about a minute or so away now. Let me pull up my clock. Local time is 11:45 and 51 seconds. So we're about 45 seconds away now from the start of the partial solar eclipse. Again, Kingdom City, Missouri, we are in the path of totality. Totality occurs here at about 1:13. So any second now, assuming we figured this out by now, timing-wise, about 20 seconds away from first contact with the sun. I'm going to turn the iris down just a little bit on the camera because what you're able to see is those sunspots, those little dark specks in the middle of the sun. A little hard to see actually with this camera, but there's little sunspots that are popping up on the sun. Kind of they are the source of what we call those coronal mass ejections across the tri-states. So we're going to brighten it up real bright so we'll notice anything changes. It should happen about now, so it might take a second for it to actually take effect. We'll watch together. It's riveting. It's pretty exciting, though. Again, a lot of people here. I've been speaking to people, which you'll see tonight on KHQA News at 5 and 6. You're going to see people I interviewed from California came here, Texas, Minnesota. People have come from a good distance away to view the eclipse here in central Missouri. Everyone, most people mentioned it was either going to be a bucket list item or something they just saw online. They saw an article online and just felt they wanted to come. So that's pretty cool to see all these people really interested in science. So there it is, I think. Top right of the sun. There is our moon beginning to pop in. I'm going to move the camera just a little bit. You can see in the top right of your image, the top right of the sun, you can see just a little bit of that sun beginning to pop, or the moon beginning to pop through, excuse me. Let me get this camera figured out here a little bit. There we go. So again, look at the upper right corner of the sun. You can start seeing a little bit of a shape beginning to pop in. That is the start of the partial solar eclipse here in Kingdom City. Again, total solar eclipse is expected here along the Interstate 70 corridor and points south of that, basically from Kansas City to St. Louis. That is where you will be in terms of totality. Many people in the tri-states, you're getting kind of lucky. Some of you have sunshine, some of you don't. Some of you are getting rained on, some of you aren't. Very hit or miss right now in the tri-states. I think these are the breaks that we're talking about. You'll get a periodic break or so every once in a while, but for the most part, well, you're going to be dealing with some showers and thunderstorms. We have more cloud cover pushing on in from the west and southwest, so that may hinder us a little bit later. But for now, for those that can see the sun, here we go. It's beginning to take shape. It's I don't want to say it's like watching paint dry, because that sounds boring, but it's a very slow process, a very, very continual process, all the way through the next couple of hours. I'm going to bring up the times here again for Kingdom City. Our next event, well, that'll be Totality at 1:13 p.m. So we have about an hour and about an hour and 20 minutes or so until the Totality occurs. We're hoping the clouds will remain thin, because right now we got a pretty good view here in Kingdom City. I'm going to break away from this for just 1 second. I'm going to show you kind of the situation here in Kingdom City. Again, all sorts of different people kind of outside watching, a lot of pop-up tents, coolers, all sorts of excitement kind of popping up here in Kingdom City. All sorts of families traveling from all over the area, all over the country really, popping into our area. I've met a few people that are originally from Quincy that have since moved out. A lot of people have been staying in Quincy, in fact. All right, so let me bring the camera back up. Again, the partial solar eclipse now underway. Totality in the tri-states includes Audrain County. That is really the only county in the tri-state area that will be in full totality, basically Mexico, Missouri, and Point South. We are actually just south of the technical viewing area here in the tri-states. In Kingdom City, we're in Callaway County, technically served by the St. Louis or Columbia TV market. Yeah, you can see the little moon popping up. So again, a lot of people are getting really excited. It's pretty cool to see. Again, once it starts, it just slowly will continue until total blackout. Some of the percentages, obviously, here in Kingdom City, you will see totality or complete darkness. We can actually take that solar filter off the camera, and you'll be able to see the corona of the sun, permitting that we don't have cloud cover. Areas like Quincy, you're going to be at about 97% totality. So you'll see just a tiny little sliver of that sun left. Macomb about 95%, and slowly lesser percentages as you go up. Event well underway up in Oregon. I was trying to load our affiliate feed from Oregon, but it does not seem to want to work. So we'll kind of keep an eye on that and see if I can get that popping in here in just a few minutes. But again, here you can see partial solar eclipse underway across the tri-states. I'm going to ask some answers. If anybody has any questions, feel free to have any questions that you might have. Watching Macon, Missouri, we have cloud cover, unfortunately. Yeah, this is one of the reasons that we kind of stepped outside of our viewing area. We wanted to give all of the viewers in the tri-states at least an opportunity to watch the event live, and we figured we'd do it here in the tri-states. I'm going to pop the double box with me back in frame here. Again, wow, Kingdom City, Missouri. I'm going to tilt the camera back so you can see kind of different people kind of gathered on the field. Well, they've all disappeared on me. There's actually no one back there anymore. There were a bunch of people playing Frisbee there about 2 minutes ago. I don't know where they all went. Let's see. Let me pop the parking lot cam back up. You can see all sorts of people. The parking lot definitely filled up pretty quickly across the area. A lot of people coming on in. And I'll bring our camera back up. There we go. I'll bring just a normal camera. Actually, yeah. People in the hotel across the street, you might have been able to see that behind me. There's a hotel right across Interstate 70. A lot of people are kind of gathered outside the hotel. I mean, why leave your hotel when you have a good viewing spot, I guess? Don't have to go anywhere. Don't have to try and find a parking spot or anything like that. I will say, if you're trying to find totality in the tri-states, you're probably too late by this point in time. By the time you get down here, by the time you fight through traffic, there's been a few traffic issues. It seems like it's lessened out just a little bit more, but it's there were some traffic complaints over on Highway 9, US 54 coming from Ladonia into Mexico, Missouri. So again, if you're just joining us, you're watching Total Solar Eclipse 2017 here in the tri-states. We're actually just south of our viewing area in Kingdom City, Missouri, sitting right along Interstate 70 in Callaway County. A lot of cloud cover in the tri-states is causing some problems, but anywhere in the tri-states, if you can see the sun, you can probably start seeing that solar eclipse beginning to take shape. Again, at 1:13, that is when we will have what's called second contact, or totality will begin. Did you see that jet just fly through? That was awesome. Oh, that was so cool. I got to make sure I save that stream later on. I wish I was recording my camera. I'm going to watch the replay on that. passenger jet, 737, just flew right in front of the sun. That was super cool. Anyway, if you like science, I hope you're enjoying this, because I'm kind of nerding out pretty hard on this right now, to be completely honest. I'm really happy to be here. I'm glad I was able to get the opportunity to come on down to the Tri-States. We are not on TV. We are only on Facebook Live. If you do turn on TV, you can actually see, I believe CBS coverage has started already, or it's going to start at some point. I think ABC has special coverage planned as well. I don't know what the odds were of catching a jet like that, but that was still super cool. Let's pop the camera back up in the parking lot, just kind of show everybody. I'm probably going to end this stream here in just a few minutes. Actually, I'll probably leave it up just running on the sun, but I probably will stop talking. I'm going to start gathering my notes for our full show, again, which will start at about 12:45. That'll be the countdown to totality. That'll be the name of that show, starting about 12:45. That'll be about an hour long. We're going to go more in depth in terms of everything that's going on with the solar eclipse, how it occurs, all that kind of stuff. So we're going to leave the camera up. I've been overruled by pretty much everybody asking to leave the camera up. So we'll leave the camera up on this live feed. I might chime in every once in a while, but we'll end this probably around 12:30. And then we'll pick up again at about 12:45. That's when we'll go through a little bit more of a talk through. Do I have an SD card on this camera? I do. All right, I'm going to start recording now. You're going to start seeing that solar eclipse beginning to take shape. Now, some people have been asking, how dark is it going to get? You really won't notice a huge change in the darkness across the area. You really have to be in totality greater than about 99% for it to actually become much darker, considerable darker. You might notice a little bit of a darker blue in the sky, something like that. But in terms of darkness, you have to be in totality for that. And again, that's along the Interstate 70 corridor, essentially from Kansas City down to St. Louis and ultimately to Carbondale. Yeah, it's a good point, Kendall. If you do have satellite, it's blocked by weather, so I guess we will leave it up in case you are trying to watch on TV and you can't. So I guess we'll leave it up on Facebook Live, might as well. I'm going to work on something behind the scenes real quick. There is, I know, a way I can track the eclipse live on GOES 16. That's a new weather satellite that we've obviously talked about quite a bit. There's a way you can actually track it with the satellite because it gets dark, as you already know, we've been talking about. It gets dark in that totality zone. You will actually see darkness on the satellite feed. It's actually super cool. Let me try and pull this up for you. I'll leave the camera on for now while I'm working on this. It takes a little bit for me to set this up. It's also pretty data intensive. And data, thankfully, has been pretty good so far. So again, for anybody that may be just joining in, 2017 eclipse across America has started in the Tri-States at about 11:45. That's when we started seeing the early indications of the moon starting to block the sun. Here's a live look in Kingdom City, Missouri. Viewing party right outside City Hall, right by the Firefighters Memorial of Missouri, right on Interstate 70. You're watching that moon beginning to take shape. I'm actually going to kind of step out frame. I want to take a picture with my actual camera real quick. So we got multiple cameras that we're running on this. Obviously, we're running an actual story on this. I'm going to kind of go for a little walk here so I can kind of look at this. I have a wireless mic, which kind of helps immensely. I'm going to go lay in the grass real quick. But again, you're looking at that total solar eclipse beginning here in the Tri-States. What the hell? There we go. All right. I forgot I took my SD card out of that camera, so we have to go swap that real quick. That's the problem when running about 5 different cameras. You kind of lose your mind a little bit. Okay. Again, you're just joining us. Total Solar Eclipse in America has started in Kingdom City, Missouri, and pretty much everywhere in the Tri-States. You're starting to see that eclipse beginning to take shape. Let me move the camera just a little bit more. There we go. I gotta tell you, it's really cool to watch in person. If you can go out, if you do have those glasses, it is really, really cool to kind of watch in person. We've kind of referred to it as Pac-Man, really, kind of just slowly eating the sun. It's pretty unique. It's definitely a very interesting perspective. I've seen a eclipse a while ago. A long time ago, it got a little bit of a partial eclipse here in the tri-states, but it didn't quite get that much. It was very, very slim. It was right at sunset, and of course, we had cloud cover. That seems to be the theme with solar eclipses in the tri-states. So I'm going to go up and pull up satellite feed to kind of show everybody what's going on in the weather department. Obviously, weather plays a huge role in seeing a solar eclipse because naturally we had bright sunshine the last week, and the day that we have an eclipse, something really awesome, we have cloud cover. So here's a look at the current visible satellite imagery. I think I can double box this. Let me try and see if I can do that. If not, I'm just going to pull it up really, really quick. I cannot. Okay. Anyway, so again, here's the cloud cover real quick. I wanted to jump back to the eclipse shot, but real quick, what you're looking at is the cloud cover pushing in across northwestern Missouri. That, unfortunately, is continuing to progress towards the tri-state. So if you're in the clear now, get out and enjoy it while you can, because you have this more cloud cover pushing in from the Kansas City metro, pushing into the tri-states that might obscure your max eclipse. So this is really the best time for you to actually watch that total solar eclipse. Will be the next couple of minutes, really. And I'm going to pop on the camera back. I don't really know how we can watch in real-time percentage change. I don't know if there's a way I can actually do that or not. I would say it's probably about 5% maybe of an eclipse right about now. It's 12:01 local time. That's Central Daylight Time here in Kingdom City, Missouri. First contact occurred at 11:46 a.m. Second contact, also known as the beginning of totality, will begin at 1:13. Max eclipse at 1:14. And the third contact, or the end of totality, will be at 1:15. And it's all said and done by 2:40. And I can officially at least go home kind of happy. At least I was getting really concerned about the cloud cover. I wanted to at least see a partial eclipse take shape, and sure enough, here we are. So I'm leaving at least happy. I tried putting my SD card in my microphone. That's not how it works, Nick. You put it in your camera. Wentzville, I believe, might... I think you're just north of totality. I'm pretty sure Wentzville is just a tad north of totality, I'm pretty sure. So let's come back out here live again. I'm going to shift the camera down just a little bit. Still no one behind me. It looks like it's empty. I promise it's not. There's a lot of people here. We're watching the Total Solar Eclipse live from Kingdom City. That's Interstate 70 you can see behind me. For the time being, flowing smoothly. We've had no traffic issues so far on Interstate 70. We have heard of backups on the local highways trying to get down here, though. Route 19, US 54. Those were two areas that we had to deal with some unfortunate traffic that was rolling on through. So if you took our advice to leave early, I was live at 5 through 7 a.m. telling you guys to leave early. Most of these people did. I talked to a lot of people here who actually saw us on the news, and they came to Kingdom City because they saw us in the morning. They're like, well, I guess let's go to Kingdom City. So a lot of cool, really cool to see all you guys out here. I'm out of glasses. I gave my last 2 pairs away to people that needed them, so I no longer have any glasses left. I don't know if anybody here is. I feel like if you go and ask somebody really nicely, someone might share, though, because there's not much is going to change in 30 seconds. I'm going to bring the camera back up on just the parking lot. It's going to show you what it's like here. This is the current situation here in Kingdom City. This is, again, outside the City Hall, right off Interstate 70. A pretty nice viewing party. There's people from all across the country. We've seen people from California, Minnesota, Illinois. There's been a few areas that have been kind of popping in this area. A lot of Wisconsin plates. Wisconsin's unfortunately pretty clouded over. All right, let me pop the camera back on. And I'm going to shift the camera a little bit so you can see a little bit better. Someone just said that tornado sirens were going off in Perry, Missouri. There's no reason for that at all. There's not even rain anywhere near you in Perry. Unless they go off at noon. I'm not too familiar with that area. They might go off around noon, and a lot of places might do that. I'm going to pop on the radar. I think I can do this properly without breaking things. Let me see. Actually, no, I cannot do that. I have to find a different way to do it. Give me 1 second. I'll leave it on the Eclipse cam here. I'm going to try and pull up the radar. Has it been visible in Quincy? Yes, it's visible in Quincy. It started to be visible right around 11:47 or so. And just slowly but surely, you're going to start seeing that moon eat away at the sun, almost like Pac-Man. So anywhere in the tri-states that does have clear skies, you should be able to see the eclipse starting to take shape. I'll bring the satellite back on. A lot of people asking about specific locations. So again, here's the current look at the cloud cover. To kind of give you some situational awareness here. Kansas City's right in this area over here. Quincy's sitting right about here. There's this big blob of clouds from thunderstorms that erupted near the Kansas City metro. That's all pushing northeast and east right towards the tri-state. So if you're getting in the clear skies right now, now is the time to go out and see the eclipse, because you might not get that much later on. I'm going to bring the camera back out here in Kingdom City, Missouri. You can see even since we started, it's definitely a pretty good amount being eaten away from the sun. It's really, really cool to see. I'm going to go ahead and step away for about 2 minutes while I go take some pictures. I'll be right back. Yeah, we're starting to see that thicker cloud cover rolling on through Kingdom City, so that's kind of unfortunate. We're looking at those clouds. They're thin. I'm hoping they'll blow through pretty quickly. They are kind of on the move. They're moving northeast. So we're really kind of hoping that they'll kind of skirt us. They're kind of on the southern edge of the thicker cloud, so we might not get into the really thick cloud cover, but this high, thin cloud layer is might cause some problems with us here. Notice how the image is coming a little bit blurrier. It's because we have the cloud cover that's beginning to roll on through. And I'm really hating myself for not recording when that jet flew by. That was one of the coolest things I think I've ever seen in my life. And I don't really live that much of a sheltered life. Partial eclipse, maybe about, 10%, maybe? Something like that. Maybe not even. Near 10%. It's kind of hard to tell exactly what it's like at any given point in time. I'll pop the U.S. map up real quick, just kind of show everybody what's going on. So the partial solar eclipse has already started well away from Oregon through Idaho, Wyoming, Nebraska, Missouri, Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee. I don't know if it's gotten down to the Carolinas yet. It might have just very recently. But that's that path of totality. And it's you're going to see that total darkness, again, just south of the tri-state area. Mainly along the Interstate 70 corridor from about Kansas City to St. Louis. We'll bring the camera back up. Here's a current look here in Kingdom City. How neat. How you doing, man?
Good.
Doing good?
Good.
What do you think?
Good.
You have glasses?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very important. Make sure you got your glasses.
So again, we continue to watch the partial solar eclipse begin to take shape here in the tri-states. It'll ultimately go to totality, at least in our southern viewing area, including about Kingdom City up to Mexico. That's about the farthest south you need to go in our tri-state area, and then south from there. So basically you have to take a US 54 south out of Mexico. And I gotta tell you, a lot of people kind of commenting it's a safe way to watch without endangering your eyes. I gotta tell you, I'm kind of using my camera more than I'm using my own eyes to watch it myself, because, you know, I love the solar glasses. They're definitely safe if you have the certified ones, but, you know, sometimes you just don't know. But as long as you got those certified glasses and you keep them on your face and there's no scratches on them, there's no dents in them, they will be good to go to watch the eclipse. I want to pop the iris a little bit, maybe try to give you a little bit. See the thicker cloud moving through right then? That's kind of the higher clouds are beginning to roll on through. I don't think we're really going to lose the eclipse at any given point. I think it should be bright enough to at least shine through that high cloud deck, at least I'm kind of hoping. So again, some areas in the tri-states, you do get a chance to look at the eclipse. Some areas, well, unfortunately, you are under cloud cover and thunderstorm activity. So this is kind of an option we're trying to give everybody to at least view it safely, whether or not you have the rain or not. You can see it's really showing up real nice right now.
Nice little breeze picking up.
Weather overall not too bad. It's a little warm, but if you're sitting in shade, it's not too bad. A little bit of a nice breeze across the tri-state area for those that are not in the rainfall. If you're in the rain, then, well, you got that called evaporative cooling happening. So you're even cooler. So I'm going to continue this feed for about another maybe 10 minutes or so. I'm going to go out, grab some video, maybe some interviews of people watching, and then we'll be back at about 12:45. That's when we'll start the countdown to totality. But again, we'll stick with you for a little bit longer here. Maybe another, 10 minutes or so. So again, here's your live look from Kingdom City, Missouri. If you're just joining us, 2017 eclipse across America has begun in the tri-states. We started seeing that partial solar eclipse starting at about 11:47. We are expecting totality here in Kingdom City at 1:13. There will be a change in temperatures across the area, anywhere from maybe 2-3 degrees, in some places maybe even more. You might see some pretty drastic temperature changes, maybe upwards of 10 at most in some areas. Because what's happening is, I mean, the sun is still as bright as it was. It's not getting really any dimmer. It's just less solar radiation is getting to the surface, which means temperatures will begin to cool down. And once you start hitting about 95% or so, that's when you start seeing the skies beginning to dim just a little bit. But you really won't see darkness until about 99%. That's when you'll kind of notice a bigger change in the actual brightness of the sky. But if you're in totality, which I am right now in Kingdom City, it will actually turn to night. A lot of people compare it to about a full moon lit night in terms of brightness. You'll actually be able to see stars above you. The problem is we have these high clouds that may prevent those clouds or the stars from being completely visible. Just going to keep adjusting the camera little by little. And for anybody just joining us, I'm meteorologist Nick Stewart from KHQA in Quincy, Illinois. We are watching 2017 solar eclipse across America. It has begun in the tri-states about 11:47. We are continuing through about 1:13 up until totality. That's what's known as second contact. That's when that totality will begin across the tri-states. A lot of people dealing with cloud cover, unfortunately, right now, and there's not a whole lot we can do about it. The cloud cover is racing across northeastern Missouri, pushing into west central Illinois. So if you're outside, if you see sun outside your window and you have those eclipse viewing glasses, get out there and view it, because a lot of people, you're not going to have many other chances in the next couple of hours. Many people will likely miss the max eclipse at about 1:13 this evening.
It doesn't, keeps checking, it doesn't look like it's going to be total because the higher inner clouds is what he's saying.
Oh, that's good, because you can see right through it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're watching us. We're from Kingdom City, Missouri. Let me bring up the parking lot cam to kind of show you. A lot of people have filled into this area. It's one of the official viewing areas for this area. The Callaway County, Fulton County area is kind of all gathered on one of the about 3 places in the area. One of the bigger ones is down in Fulton. This is one of the smaller areas, but I like this one. It's right on Interstate 70. Traffic continues to move very well. We haven't seen many major traffic issues on Interstate 70. A different situation for the local highways. And just, I gotta tell you, looking off to my right, that's US 54, which interchanges with Interstate 70. It's backed up now at least a little bit past about 2 intersections or so. So there's definitely a good amount of traffic. I can't, say if that's any more than your normal traffic, but I will say there's a lot of traffic going south, very little going north. So if you are in Mexico, Missouri, if you can cling on to the clear skies, or at least partially clear skies, you will be able to see totality in Mexico, Missouri. That's the southernmost viewing area for KHQA, and you will see totality there in Audrain County, southern half of Audrain County. We are in Callaway County, just south of that, in Kingdom City, Missouri. Someone was asking to zoom more. Unfortunately, I don't have much more zoom on this lens. I've actually swapped cameras. I'm using a different camera than I was going to because it has a little bit of a better zoom.
Daddy, the solar eclipse is happening.
You heard it right there. Solar eclipse is happening.
Are we going to be able to see the total eclipse before the clouds come in?
Hopefully.
Hopefully. It's not looking good over there.
Yeah.
We're actually in your viewing area. We're only like an hour and a half south of you guys.
Oh,
Actually, the doctor comes down and takes us.
oh yeah.
So anybody that may be just joining us, I'm meteorologist Nick Stewart for KHQA over in Quincy, Illinois. We are covering 2017 solar eclipse across America. We are beginning to enter that partial stage at about 11:47 a.m. We're going to keep climbing to totality here in Kingdom City. Clouds are a little bit on the sketchy side. I'm hoping they'll remain fairly thin, at least so we can experience full totality. Most of the tri-state area not in what's called totality. You'll see a partial eclipse. Quincy about 97%, Macomb 95%. Audrain County, though, Mexico, Missouri, you'll see a total eclipse at 100%. Yes, ABC, I know, is broadcasting live, so if you do have TV, if you want to watch another perspective, this is kind of your tri-state perspective here, bring it to you live on KHQA's Facebook page.
Cloud cover.
And this is when it just started.
So anybody that may be just joining, let's bring everybody up to speed with what's happening right now here in the Tri-States. Again, I'm meteorologist Nick Stewart for KHQA in Quincy, Illinois. We're watching that solar eclipse beginning to take shape. Right now, it's about, I'd venture a guess, maybe about 15% or so total eclipse. We'll do the double box to keep that in frame with y'all. Again, you can see that kind of slowly eating away at the sun. That'll continue for the next less than an hour, about 55 minutes until totality now here in Kingdom City. I'm looking off to my southwest. Clouds, they remain thin. There are clouds, but they remain fairly thin, so I think we should be able to at least see most of the solar eclipse. During totality, it'll certainly get very dark here. I don't think we're going to be able to see the stars, just because the cloud cover will probably prevent that. But I think we're going to get very, very close to a total solar eclipse. Real quick, again, what you're seeing here in the Tri-States, again, everything has to line up perfectly. The moon sits between us and the sun. That totality zone, that total darkness zone, it's the full shadow known as the umbra. Everywhere else, you're seeing what's called the penumbra. It's the partial shadow. Most of the Tri-State area will be in that partial shadow. But there's that 70-mile wide path of totality. For our area, it goes about Kansas City down to St. Louis. That's kind of closest to us. That's known as the full shadow or totality. That's what's called the umbra, the full shadow from the moon. This total solar eclipse is very unique because it goes from coast to coast. It goes from Oregon all the way to South Carolina. It's a coast-to-coast solar eclipse, the first one since 1918, first one in 99 years. For the Tri-States, those that can actually see the eclipse, here's your percentages. Macomb about 95%, Keokuk 96%, Quincy about 97%, Hannibal 98%, and then areas south of that line, but Bowling Green, you're about 99%. Mexico, Missouri, and points south from there, you're at a total solar eclipse known as totality. That's where you'll get the total darkness. For anybody that may be trying to view the eclipse, if you don't have glasses, obviously don't look directly at the sun. It's not that there's anything different with the sun today. It's just that normally we have no reason to look at the sun. Sunglasses do not provide sufficient protection. And the problem is you really won't notice eye damage until maybe a day or two later. So make sure you're using those approved solar filters, either those ISO approved glasses that must have that requirement 12312-2 approved by NASA. Even safer bet, you could be able to watch it indirectly by using a projection of the sun's image using a pinhole projector. I showed you earlier was a cereal box is kind of what we used for that. So let's jump again, live look here in Kingdom City. Let me adjust the camera a little bit to bring that fully in frame. You're watching that partial eclipse rolling on through the Tri-States. You're looking at a live look from Kingdom City, Missouri. We're parked right outside the City Hall here in Kingdom City, right off Interstate 70, right off US 54. That's what the interchange that we're at, just technically south of our viewing area, but we wanted to give all of our viewers at least a chance to see the total eclipse, and this is kind of our best bet. Earlier this morning, I was torn between Carbondale and here. I ended up deciding to go here just because it's a little bit closer to home and I didn't have to drive 4 hours to Carbondale. Also, you may have seen traffic is an absolute nightmare on Interstates 55 and 57 trying to get to southern Illinois, Kentucky, and Tennessee. It's pretty much a nightmare down there. For us, more of an inconvenience. Traffic really wasn't that bad. I got here at 2 a.m., so I didn't have to deal with any traffic. I dealt with one car on the roadway. But people that were coming here earlier this morning, there were some backups on Illinois Route 19 and US 54 from about Ladonia to Mexico down to here, and I believe it's a little bit worse as you continue to go south towards about Fulton. That's kind of where the bigger totality will be. Here in Kingdom City, Missouri, we're expecting total eclipse at about 1:13 this afternoon. It'll last about 2 minutes, 24 seconds. Totality will go from 1:13 to 1:15, and then we'll start seeing the sun beginning to reappear with the what's called fourth contact, or the end of the eclipse, at 2:40. So again, people are getting periodic breaks in the clouds. That's pretty much what we were talking about the last about 2 to 3 days in the tri-states. I labeled everyone as pretty much fair or poor to fair based on cloud cover. Unfortunately, it is exactly what we expected, that thunderstorms kind of popping on through dense cloud cover, but there are those breaks, and those that are lucky to get in those breaks, definitely get outside and take a look if you're using your approved glasses or some type of pinhole projector. People asked about cloud cover, so let's pop the satellite back in while we've kind of had this up for a while. So I'll pop the satellite back on. That's my email. Hold on. Let's pop the... there we go. So again, here's the current look at the radar, or the satellite, excuse me, across the tri-states. You're looking at the dense cloud cover popping up across northeastern Missouri, pushing into the Mississippi River. So areas right along the Mississippi River from Keokuk, Quincy, Hannibal, down to Louisiana. Your shot to look at the eclipse is right about now. This clear slot will continue to push off to the east. So places like Macomb, you'll get a better shot here, hopefully in a few minutes. Rushville down to Jacksonville, you might get those breaks in those clouds. Actually, Jacksonville's already might be in the clear already.
Well, it's going to be darker than this, but not much.
So again, this is the cloud cover. We had thunderstorms pop up in the Kansas City metro, and that's what's all pushing in our direction. I'm looking off to my southwest. We're still seeing thin clouds. We're not in terrible shape. I think we'll be able to see most of the eclipse. We might not be able to see the stars above us once that full eclipse does happen. I'll bring the camera back on. You can see it's definitely a good chunk of the sun is definitely missing. I'm glad a lot of people are being able to watch across the tri-states. I figured I'd run this too, just to give you some commentary as to what you're watching. Most areas, again, we'll see just a partial solar eclipse. Still a good partial, greater than 95% for the entire tri-state area.
But the next traffic pattern is right out here. Yeah. Most of them people probably try to go through the whole. Oh, yeah.
If you're just joining us, let's bring you up to speed with where we are right now.
Eclipse event. Open app.
I just got my app notification that we are 45 minutes from totality. So at this point in time, this is when National Weather Service research starts to take hold. It's at this percentage, temperatures will begin to drop. Once we start hitting about 30% eclipse, that's when temperatures have a history of beginning to drop just a little bit. Anywhere from 2 degrees, maybe more in some places. In some places, we might see a temperature drop of maybe 10 degrees. Pretty dramatic temperature swings across the area. Definitely getting excited to experience that. The winds might kick up just a little bit as well. But some people have been asking about, see that thicker cloud just rolled on through, kind of blocked us periodically. We got a few thicker clouds rolling on through, but for the most part, it's just kind of thin clouds. We've lost our view here in Kingdom City. There we go. See the clouds, we're getting to feel those what called cumulus clouds rolling on through. Those are the thicker clouds causing problems with viewing. We can deal with those high, thin clouds, but these thicker clouds, the cumulus clouds, is what's causing more of an issue. All right, so it looks like we completely lost the sun here. Oh, there it is again. I'm going to pop the iris wide open.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to step out for a second and start taking some pictures because this is really, really cool to watch right now. I hope you're enjoying the show. If you're just joining us, again, I'm meteorologist Nick Stewart from KHQA in Quincy, Illinois. You're looking at 2017 solar eclipse across America here on Facebook Live. Figured a unique way to bring you all a look at the eclipse if you were not able to get into totality.
At least he has my looks.
He does. Thank God for that.
And originally I said I was going to cancel or call off the live feed and bring it back up on 12:45. I think we're just going to stick with it, guys. I think we're just going to leave the live feed running. So I'm going to disappear for about 2 minutes while I take some pictures with my big telephoto lens. I can pop this up real quick, might as well. I have a big old lens with, of course, a solar filter on it. You do need to have that solar filter if you're taking pictures of the eclipse. You will do some serious damage to your eyes, especially with a lens like this. It'll basically melt your eye out if you're looking at it without a filter. So definitely be careful if you are viewing the eclipse. I'm going to go view some pictures real quick. I'm going to grab some video of people looking at the eclipse as well for a story tonight at 10. 5 and 6, and then I'm just going to leave you to kind of watch the eclipse real quick here in Kingdom City. I'll be back in about 5 minutes. And welcome back. Got some quick video of people doing their thing. A lot of people have telescopes and cameras and all that kind of stuff across this area. For anybody that just might be joining our coverage, I'm KHQA Meteorologist Nick Stewart from Quincy, Illinois. We're looking at total solar eclipse here in the Tri-States. We are in Kingdom City, Missouri, just technically south of our viewing area. But we wanted to give everybody a look at totality. We wanted to look everyone the best look possible that was relatively close to the Tri-States. This was kind of our best bet. We're getting a little bit of a broken line of clouds kind of rolling on through that's kind of preventing supreme viewing right now, but still looks pretty good. We're able to see it kind of through the high, thin clouds across the area. We're pushing pretty close to about, I'd say, almost maybe 40% eclipse. It's definitely getting up there pretty quick. We are in Kingdom City, Missouri. We're right at the City Hall here in Kingdom City, just off Interstate 70 and US 54, that interchange. That's where we are. There's a big event being held here. Let me bring that parking lot cam up. Again, a lot of people showing up. They've had their tents, their cameras, their tripods, everything you can think of. They got it pretty much here to view the eclipse safely. Safety is definitely the big important thing here when it comes to viewing the eclipse. Let's bring the satellite back into picture here. This is what everybody's kind of worried about in the tri-state area. Just off to our north, we have this big blob of cloud cover beginning to push towards the Mississippi River. So areas like Fort Madison, Keokuk, down to Warsaw, Quincy, Hannibal, Louisiana. Your best bet to watch the eclipse is right about now because you have those cloud cover beginning to roll on through. Areas east of the Mississippi River, your conditions are going to improve briefly as the clouds begin to roll on through the area. We're going to pop the eclipse cam back on with the filter. Of course, our camera does have a solar filter on. We don't want to damage our equipment. Pretty expensive to do so. So these solar filters, we got them a few months ago because we kind of knew this was coming. So we made sure we got all of our eclipse glasses and our filters and everything well in advance to make sure we can bring you guys what we're doing right now. I gotta tell you, that looks really, really cool. It's probably about 40% eclipse, I'd say, right about now. It's definitely at this point you're going to start noticing those temperatures beginning to change just a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if it starts dropping a degree or two by now. Winds picking up just a little bit as well. Again, this is Kingdom City, Missouri. We're just outside the tri-state area, just south of Mexico, Missouri, now Drain County. Give you a quick update on our timeline. It's currently 12:39 and 45 seconds here in Kingdom City, Missouri. We are expecting second contact or totality to begin at about 1:13 and 17 seconds. Our max eclipse about 1:14 and 30 seconds, with third contact or the end of totality at 1:15 and 41 seconds. And then here in Kingdom City, our eclipse comes to an end at 2:40. Totality here in Kingdom City will last about 2 minutes and 24 seconds. Again, you need to use your solar filters or your glasses to watch the eclipse. You need to do them safely, otherwise you can cause damage to your eyes. That's definitely a big, big concern. However, if you are in totality, during totality, you can actually take your glasses off and you'll be able to see the corona, also known as the atmosphere of the sun. That's actually kind of what researchers are trying to understand, is why is that corona so hot compared to the surface of the sun? The surface of the sun only a few thousand degrees, but the atmosphere, according to NASA scientists at the Research Institute in Boulder, Colorado that I spoke to, could be up to millions of degrees. Very, very hot. It doesn't make a lot of sense why it's kind of like that. It doesn't make, common sense. You wouldn't think it that way. So one of the research that is happening here in the Tri-States is that they're using two retrofitted former military jets, bombers, essentially. They've been retrofitted, the nose cone of the aircraft replaced with dual telescopes. One of them captures light in infrared or temperature, and the other one is visible light, so you can actually see what's going on. There'll be two jets. They will be flying over us during totality. There's a chance we might be able to catch a glimpse of them very, very briefly as they're flying overhead. They're conducting their mission over Missouri and Illinois. Lucky for them, they're going to be at 50,000 feet, so well above any cloud cover.
Eclipse event. Open app.
We are 30 minutes till totality here in Kingdom City, Missouri. Again, folks along the Mississippi River, the best time to view the eclipse is pretty much right about now. You're getting that break in the cloud covers. If you can get outside, now is your chance to really kind of get a good view. It's a pretty solid view. It's probably at least 50%, if not more. I'm actually going to take a step outside real quick and take some pictures again, because this is pretty, it's really, really cool. I do need to swap my SD card again this time, though.
Really cool.
I know.
Check it
Like
out.
it's clear enough right
Yeah.
here, hopefully.
Yeah, we're getting a little bit of, again, the cloud cover we're dealing with is very high, thin clouds, primarily, with a few of those thicker cumulus clouds rolling on through. We're primarily just having to deal with those thin clouds. All right, I'll take the mic with me, why not? I'll go in this field and lay down, try and take some pictures. Of course, if you are going to be taking pictures, you do need to make sure you are using a filter on your camera, or you will do damage to both your camera and your eye. Might be able to hear me taking pictures right about now. I'd say we're over 50% totality. I'd say we're probably closing in at about 55 to 60% totality right about now. We are less than 30 minutes away from totality, or total darkness, here in Kingdom City. That's super cool.
Huh?
What?
Really?
Oh, Go 16, yeah. Good question. Someone in our watch party, my friend Rich, is mentioning Go 16. I have that live feed from the... yeah, you can see it. I'm actually going to pop up a different feed because this one's not looking as good. Let me pop up the CONUS view. That didn't seem to work either. You're still on the feed, right? Yeah, you're still looking at the sun. Okay. Let me figure this out. Full disk. Here it is. So Go 16, it's our new weather satellite that we launched back in last November. We've been talking a lot about it. One of the really cool things is, well, you can see the solar eclipse happening. You can do this with other weather satellites too. I mean, it's not like it's totally unique to Go 16. The difference is we can get images every 1 minute compared to every 15 minutes. So feast your eyes on Go 16 data. This is live satellite data from Go 16. What you're looking at, this darker spot over the Pacific Ocean approaching the west coast, that is totality. You can actually see the darkness on weather satellite approaching the west coast of the United States. You can also see kind of the darker grays around it. That's that partial shadow. That umbra is that full shadow, that really dark spot. If I kind of zoom in here, it looks like folks on the west coast are about to get in totality. That was at 17Z though, so that's an older image. Let me jump into the current Meso 1. The Meso 1, again, as I was mentioning, is that 1 minute feed. Yeah, that makes much more sense. Your totality is actually right over about, looks like Wyoming right about now. It's a little difficult to see on this image though, as unfortunate as that is. Let's pop the camera feed back on. Here's what it looks like here in the Tri-States. You're looking at a live look from Kingdom City, Missouri. We're just outside City Hall in Kingdom City, Missouri, right on Interstate 70. For the time being, traffic on I-70 is running A-OK. Look at that. That's just super, super cool. You're looking at that eclipse probably now 65% or so across the area. So you're looking at a really, really cool eclipse happening. Right now still partial, but we will see totality here really soon. About, what, 20 minutes or so? Let's bring everybody up to speed that may be just joining in. We've kind of seen viewers kind of jumping back and forth. We've been holding steady, about 1,000 people or so watching this feed. Thank you for watching, first of all. I'm meteorologist Nick Stewart from KHQA in Quincy, Illinois. What's your name?
Zane.
Zane? That's Zane over here. He's part of the group selling stuff, drinks and all that.
Smaller.
Yeah, it's getting smaller. It's really cool. It looks like you ever play Pac-Man? Looks like Pac-Man, doesn't it? Yeah. We're looking at the partial eclipse happening here in Kingdom City, Missouri. It's a live look again through our camera here, right off I-70. Every one of the tri-states will see at least a partial solar eclipse, assuming you can see the sky. We do have some cloud cover rolling on through the area, unfortunately preventing a lot of people from getting a great view. But some people are getting those breaks in the clouds right along the Mississippi River. Right about now, you're getting a good view of that. Cool. So yeah, that's a partial eclipse, probably approaching maybe 70% or so. Right now, it's looking very, very, very cool. I'm going to step outside, put my glasses on real quick, and take a look at this.
Me too.
I picked my location so that I'm not in the sun, so I'm not hot. I can just lean back. I'm sure I looked delightful in that image right there. I forgot to turn my camera off. Again, that's the partial eclipse on that screen over there. You can see it, the crescent moon almost, except it's a crescent sun. How cool is that? Let me bring in our eclipse timer. Currently, it is 12:48 and 15 seconds local time in Kingdom City, Missouri. I forgot where I was for a second. We are expecting totality to take place at 1:13 and 17 seconds. Max eclipse at 1:14 and 29 seconds. That's the center of the most eclipse. That's the darkest it will get. Third contact, or end of totality, will end at about 1:15, with fourth contact, also known as the end of the eclipse, at about 2:40. Let's bring everyone up to speed of what's going on right now. Again, everything is in a delicate balance in our solar system. Earth, well, the moon is sitting right between us and the sun. Areas in totality, we're getting what's called the umbra, or full shadow. It's about a 70-mile wide corridor of complete darkness, goes from Oregon all the way to South Carolina. And folks in the tri-states, you are ever so close to being in that full shadow. Everyone, though, is in the penumbra, or the partial shadow. Most areas will see, again, at least that partial eclipse. 95% or better in the tri-states. That map, again, takes it from Oregon all the way to South Carolina through Salem, Idaho Falls, Casper, Lincoln, Jefferson City, Nashville, and Columbia. Carbondale, of course, right on the center line of that. Looking at the tri-state map, again, everyone 95% or better pretty much across the area. Macomb at 95, Keokuk 96, Quincy at about 97% eclipse. Hannibal 98, Bowling Green about 99, with Mexico at 100% totality. Quick look at anybody that maybe just be looking for some quick viewing tips. Do never look directly at the sun. It's not that the sun's any different today than it will be ever. It's just that normally we have no reason to look at the sun, and you might get tempted to. So make sure you are wearing some type of protection. Sunglasses do not provide sufficient protection. Only look at it through a solar filter. Could be those glasses we've been talking about for ever so long, those ISO 12312-2 glasses recommended by NASA, or you can view it with a pinhole viewer, such as a cereal box, which you talked about on KHQA this morning, but it might be a little too late for that now. Let's take a live look here in Kingdom City once again. Again, we are keeping these thin, high clouds, but the bulk of the thick cloud cover is definitely not there. And I gotta tell you, I'm looking on like the horizon, and the sky is definitely kind of looking like a darker blue. Wanna give me your glasses? That's cool, ain't it? Pretty cool.
First time seeing one.
First time seeing one, yeah. I mean, it hasn't happened here in a while, so. But again, the horizon almost looking, the blues in the sky look a little bit darker than they normally would for this time of day. Looks like the solar radiation or the light is being impacted just a little bit. Let me pop my camera back on in the double box. I don't know how well you can tell. Remember before when I first came on, I was almost completely silhouetted because it was so dark or bright behind me. Notice it's darker blues back there now. It's not quite as bright as it was. It's because the eclipse is obviously happening, as you see on that camera. It's a crescent sun left here in the tri-states. For anybody that's just joining us again, we're live in Kingdom City, Missouri. We're outside the City Hall. We're on Interstate 70 and US 54. We got a lot of people popping on up. I gotta tell you, it's really weird. I'm really starting to kind of notice just how dark it is on the horizon. It's really very weird. That's really cool. And again, it'll be completely darkness by the time totality hits. Even if we have cloud cover, obviously, it will be dark. Like you won't be able to see me at all. It'll be that dark. And of course, we're not going to turn lights. We actually talked to City Hall. The lights in our parking lot here, they're on timer, not brightness. So the lights in our parking lot will not go on when it gets dark here in the tri-state. So that's kind of the really good news with that. The street lights will go on. I don't know if there's lights on I-70 or not. I don't think there are, so you probably won't see those kick on because there aren't any lights. So let's pop that full view on once again. Camera's filter. It's very weird. It's like instinct is like telling me that something is weird, and like it almost looks like a storm is rolling through, like a stronger storm, but it's really just bright blue skies behind me. It's just dimmer.
Dark.
God, that's so cool. We are closing in on 12:53 Central Daylight Time here in Kingdom City, Missouri. We're expecting totality in exactly 20 minutes from now. 20 minutes, we will have complete darkness. It'll last about 2 minutes and 24 seconds. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. I'm not even kidding.
Thank you for the water.
Not good. This is going to be really, really cool.
That hit the spot.
Yeah, this is interesting. How cool is this?
Pretty cool.
I mean, yeah, this is cool. I mean, even the tri-states, you should start noticing that the sky is getting a little bit darker. It's definitely thinner. Like, I'm looking at the shadow. Actually, the shadows, is there a tree nearby? I'm going to see if I can find a tree, because the shadow in the tree should look like crescents. So I'm going to walk with a mic. If I lose connection, I apologize. But I'm trying to find a tree that might cast some shadows. I might start losing the mic here in a minute. Let's see. Really can't see it. Trying to think if I'm probably going to be walking too far. I think that it's not going to be able to hear me anymore. What's that? Quincy. Yeah. Woo! People from Hannibal are here. People from California are here. It's a party here in Kingdom City, Missouri. I was walking around. This is very weird. I don't know how else to describe it. It's very, very cool. I was trying to find a tree because if you notice when you do the shadows cast by the tree, you'll see tiny little crescents. But I haven't been able to find a tree because I don't think it's really quite bright enough. I need to probably go when we get a little bit more sunlight. In fact, it might be too dark. I'm going to bring up our, if you've been watching since the beginning, I'm going to bring up the parking lot cam again. I don't know how well you can notice, but notice how it's definitely darker here across the area. The parking lot's a little bit darker. And it's not because we have more cloud cover. We have the same amount of cloud cover. It's just the crescent moon. So I'm going to bring the double box back again. Now you can see me pretty well because again the back is not that much blowing me out anymore. It's a darker blue in the sky. You can see Interstate 70 is right down here. Traffic still running pretty well. I'm going to tilt the camera just a little bit more. You can see Interstate 70 still running well. Back in the distance, it's a Holiday Inn. There's a bunch of people that are probably staying at the Holiday Inn, just camping out on the lawn back there. Wow, this is cool. This is really, really cool, guys. Again, if you're in the tri-states, I hope you can get a glimpse of this in the breaks in the clouds. I know, Quincy, I think you're starting to get in the cloud cover. Any minute now, you're going to start seeing almost a full eclipse here. I got to tell you, temperatures have probably dropped, what, 5 degrees, maybe more?
So
It's definitely less humid too. The winds have picked up a little bit. There's all the kind of things we've talked about. I'm gonna bring the bring the camera back full again. And I think I'm just gonna leave it on this shot until totality. We got a little bit more time until totality. I'm gonna have to walk away during totality probably to get some video of people oohing and eyeing, and of course I'm gonna want to enjoy this myself. I've been it's kind of nice doing these Facebook Lives as opposed to a real.
Open app.
We are 15 minutes from totality here in Kingdom City, as the clock hits 12:56. This is super cool. I know. We just have this real. It's irritating, really. I'll bring the double box back again. You have these fluffy clouds, these cumulus clouds right here. Literally just beyond that, it's bright blue skies. We are off by maybe 20 miles, if maybe a little bit more, from clear, like completely clear skies. So we're getting a little bit of an obstructed view. So we're probably not going to see those stars, at least above us. We might be able to see them more towards the horizon. Once totality hits, again, that's going to hit at about 1:13. Let me bring those glasses back on here. I kind of want to take a look at this real quick. Again, it's a tiny, tiny little sliver. I am going to bring up the live feed real quick again. Okay, I'm going to bring the other thing I kind of wish, we didn't have a lot of birds here. I kind of wish we were able to see how the birds were reacting. What's your name again, by the way?
Zane.
Zane. I forgot about that. Hi, Zane. Thought you can come out here. How are you liking this so far?
Good.
Pretty cool? Zane's my man. Let's bring the camera back on full. I'm going to walk out real quick and take some pictures of the sun while I wait for totality. This is not an official CBS feed, Melody. This is just KHQA. We wanted to do it just for our viewers specifically. And we didn't quite have the resources to do everything on TV. So I'm going to lay down in the grass again and just look up. I have my camera, has a solar filter on it. I'm going to grab some quick pictures.
Mostly totality is just its total blackness.
Yep. And I got to tell you, it's harder to find the sun now when I'm just kind of blindly aiming at the sky because it's not that bright.
Wow.
I'd say we're probably closing in at least maybe 90% eclipse right about now. We're closing in very, very close to totality.
Totality is the total blackness. I have a second one.
Unfortunately, again, a lot of the tri-state area is dealing with cloud cover across the area. Some places, though, are getting some sunshine. I'm just going to kind of quickly glance at satellite data. All right, I'm going to bring up the GOES-16 data again because totality is over central Nebraska. Let me bring that up real quick. Again, you can see that darker spot on satellite right over central Missouri. That is where totality is happening right now, right this second. This image is about 3 minutes old. It's racing off to the southeast at about 1,600 miles per hour. Yeah, it moves pretty fast. Again, we're getting those updates every few minutes. I'm going to bring the double box back on just because it's very cool how dark it is.
Something just went past it.
Really? What'd you see?
It's an airplane.
Airplane. Nice. All right, I'm going to turn. I'm going to do is the sun's starting to get a little too faint. It's very, very thin right now. I want to boost the gain on this camera,
Whoa!
but the cloud cover is being a little difficult.
Totally black.
Yeah, we're getting really, really close to totality here, Zane. Trying to make that as visible as I can, but it's a little difficult just because the cloud cover, we got the very thin cloud cover, which normally you can shoot through with the bright sunshine. The problem is the sunshine right now is very limited. You can see behind me, notice how dark it is. It's just, I don't know how to describe it. It's just very interesting how dark it is.
Eclipse event. Open app.
We are 10 minutes from totality here in Kingdom City, Missouri. For anybody just joining us, let's bring you up to speed right now. We are live in Kingdom City, Missouri, right on Interstate 70. I have my friend Zane here. We're just chilling out, watching the eclipse here, right outside the City Hall of Kingdom City, right on Interstate 70, US 54. That's where we are situated right now. We have this high, thin cloud cover that's kind of disrupting the eclipse just a little bit, but you can see the tiny little sliver, probably about 95% or so. I'd say it's probably about 95% or so is all that's left, or 5% I guess is all that's left of the moon. Noticeably darker across the area. You can see the clear skies just off to our south, unfortunately. We wish you could have gotten the bright blue skies down there. I'm going to bring up the the camera with the parking lot, just kind of show what everybody's doing here. Again, everybody outside their car, they all have tents. Everybody's just kind of getting really excited for totality, which is closing in very, very soon. I don't really have the ability to zoom with this camera, but there are some cameras out there. There's a 360 camera just off to my left. And one thing I forgot to do is that I forgot to turn my GoPro on, so I wanted to go set my GoPro real quick, and I want to do a time lapse of it getting dark and bright again. So my car is just right over here. Of course, we got the trusty old Storm Runner powering everything of our show right now, thanks to Farm and Home Supply. My car has been on since about 2 a.m., powering my lights in the early morning show, and now we're powering my camera. That's copyright. I can't play that music. All right. I don't think we're going to do that. But, oh, hi. We found a wild Rachel Pearson, and Jenny Dressler has arrived here in Kingdom City, Missouri. With Rachel Pearson. So, I'm going to walk over. My GoPro is set. It's just a tiny little sliver. It's like a little almost thumbnail. So what's going to happen, I'm going to talk through the events that are going to occur here. The things are going to happen in real time very, very quickly. There's going to be a series of events that are going to happen in very quick succession. First, you're going to have what's called the diamond ring. It's the very last light of the moon escaping, or the very last bit of the moon. So you're going to see a bright, brilliant flash, and the whole outside periphery of the moon will then light up. It looks exactly like a diamond ring, like the name suggests. About a second later, you're then going to see what's called Bailey's beads. It's all the tiny little craters that are on the surface of the moon. You're going to be able to actually see those popping out from the sunlight. And then after that, it'll be darkness. It'll be totality. I don't know how well we're going to see it thanks to our high thin cloud cover, but you will actually kind of see the atmosphere of the yeah, I know, I'm looking at it through here. You're actually going to see it through the corona of the atmosphere of the sun kind of ejecting from that. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see that with our thin cloud cover, but the nice thing is once we're in totality, we can take our solar filters off, you can take your glasses off, and you can look at totality. You have 2 minutes and 24 seconds without your glasses, and then you got to put them right back on. And then everything happens in inverse order. You're then going to see Bailey's beads again, the little craters popping little specks of white light around the outer edge, and then you'll see the brilliant bright light again, also known as the diamond ring, and then we go right back to the normal sun.
It's almost there.
It's very, very close right now. So I'm going to do the double box again to kind of show everybody what's going on. Again, behind me you can see the clouds, clear skies just off to our south, but notice how dark it's gotten. We have really dark skies. It's just very strange. I don't know how else to describe it. Like mentally, you know that something is not right with this, considering it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It should be very bright, or I mean, even on like a cloudy day, it's not quite this dim. It's very, very interesting. Temperatures here have probably dropped about 5 degrees or so since we've been here. The wind has picked up a little bit. It feels really nice compared to what it's been not too long ago. Again, you see this tiny little crescent on that screen over there. That's all that's left. You can see those clouds kind of racing on by now. Just a little bit of high cloud cover. It might ruin the show just a little bit. It's already phenomenal. I'm already leaving, probably one of the happiest I've been since I watched a rocket launch into orbit. But that's pretty cool. It's just a tiny, tiny little sliver left. Totality here again is at 113. It sounds like crickets. The crickets are going. I think that crickets are confused. We don't have a lot of birds here. We don't have birds to really see how they're reacting, but yeah, we got crickets starting to sound. Traffic on Interstate 70 is still running very smoothly. I'm really curious what's going to happen as soon as we hit totality. So again, everybody that's just joining us, again, we're going to go through a quick series of events in very quick succession. We're going to have the very tiny sliver going down from 5%, 4%, 3%, 2%, about 1%, and then about 0.5%. It's going to have what's called the diamond ring. It'll be a brilliant, bright white, not white, but flash on the very edge of that moon. The whole outer edge of that moon will light up almost like a diamond ring. It'll look very, very cool. After that, you'll have what's called Bailey's beads. It's all the tiny little craters on the side of the moon. You'll see tiny specks of light all around the edge of that moon. And then you'll hit totality, or total darkness. You'll see no light. I'm going to remove the solar filter off from the camera, and hoping that the cloud cover doesn't obscure it too much, you should be able to see the corona of the sun, or the atmosphere of the sun, leaving the sun. It's very, very cool.
Eclipse event. Open app.
We are 3 minutes until totality.
3 minutes.
It is very, very dark. I have goosebumps. I don't know if you can see it, but I have goosebumps all over my arm.
Yeah.
There, almost.
All right, so at this point, I'm going to put it on just a single camera with the camera. Zane, you excited?
Yeah.
He's excited. We're all excited. I'm going to bring the camera back up here. Again, just a tiny, tiny little bit left. I'm going to break out my telephoto lens here. And again, obviously, you cannot take a picture of the eclipse without a filter on it. And there's so little light left, I'm having a hard time finding the sun. I don't know where it's at right now. It's about... Oh, I saw it for a second. There, oh, there it is. How cool is that?
I saw a little sliver by just looking at it.
Looking off to the western horizon, you can tell it's very dark back there.
That's what I did.
What'd you do, Dan?
I went like this and I saw a little, there's like, you could see a little sliver.
Yeah, it's just a tiny little sliver left. Again, you're watching it in real time. You're about to see totality from Kingdom City, Missouri, right on Interstate 70. You do need the glasses. You do not want to look at it without glasses until totality. You can damage your eyes even with that little light.
It's almost there. It's almost there.
It is currently 1:10 and 33 seconds local time here in Kingdom City, Missouri. We will have totality in less than 3 minutes. Remember when we said we were going to end this Facebook Live feed about 30 minutes ago? And I'm like, nah, this is too fun. Let's just keep doing this thing.
Where are your parents?
I don't know. I don't know where my parents... Oh, they're over there. My parents disappeared on me. They're over there. They're watching. My parents came down. This is actually, surprisingly or not, it was actually their idea. I didn't even suggest it to them. They came voluntarily. So I thought that was kind of cool. It's almost gone. It's gotten very dark. You're getting a little bit of a cloud going on through. It's just a tiny, tiny little sliver left. It's blocked out by the sun now.
That cloud is the ocean.
Well, once I close
It's completely gone.
You can't even see it.
I can't even see it on the camera. I'm gonna take the filter off. Yeah, it's
Mommy!
there's just a tiny little sliver left. It's getting noticeably darker, like significantly darker, as every time these little clouds that would normally have no real impact on brightness is changing everything. The western horizon is so dark right now. I'm gonna do a double box just because I don't know, you can't really see it yet. I don't want to take the filter off until we're in totality. I don't want to damage the camera. Let me bring up the parking lot camera quick. Again, notice how dark it is. I'm going to swing it around to the west. Notice just how dark it is on the horizon. I'm going to bring that camera back. There it is, a little tiny sliver view. This is so trippy. I don't know. I honestly don't have any other words to describe it. It's so dark out here. It's so crazy. All right. So again, what you're going to see, very quick succession. Diamond ring, Bailey's beads, totality. Street lights have come on across the area. Lights have come on. Oh my goodness, that's so awesome. And there's totality. There's it is. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Look at it. That is just.
Oh my goodness.
There's a little ring.
Oh, that is easily the most incredible thing I think I've ever seen in my entire life.
That is just a little.
Oh my goodness. All right, we have about 2 minutes of this left.
There's just a little ring of sun.
That's so cool.
There's a little ring of sun.
There's just a tiny little ring of sun.
Yeah.
You're seeing the corona. It's known as, it's the atmosphere of the sun. It's what's kind of leaving the sun at that time.
That was on the ground.
How incredible.
Really? Yeah.
There's fireworks going off.
Yeah, we passed the place on the way here.
They know how to party. This is the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Pretty neat. Nick, good job.
It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon and it's complete darkness. I don't even know why I'm taking pictures. I just need to look up at this. I'm never going to probably see this again in my life. Holy cow. This is unbelievable.
Wow, look at how clear it is too. My goodness.
Oh my goodness. We got a great time. You're looking at clear skies right above us, so this is the best viewing we could actually have hoped for. You're seeing absolutely perfect viewing in the tri-states, or at least in Kingdom City.
Awesome.
You're not kidding. Look at how it's cleared up.
I want to turn the brightness down a little bit so you can kind of see some of those features. Again, what you're looking at is the tiny little craters on the surface of the moon. You're seeing the bright white dots. If I turn the iris up just a little bit, notice those tiny, tiny little dots there. Those are the craters that are kind of showing through the surface of the moon. And I brighten it a little bit, you can actually see the corona. That's the atmosphere of the sun. It's just dancing around. Oh my God, this is incredible. We're about ending totality. So what you're going to see then in quick succession, Bailey's beads, and then the diamond ring.
Oh, it's so pretty.
And we got to put that solar filter back on. Wow.
You need your glasses now.
That was one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my entire life. There are no words. I'm gonna just put it back on the main camera here.
It's just a little swivel. Just a little swivel.
You look familiar.
Wow.
Just a little swivel.
Just a tiny little sliver, that's all that's left.
Today, are these yours?
Mommy.
You have 2 of our pairs over here?
And now it's quickly starting to lighten up across. You can use them if you want them. You can use them if you want to. Wow. That was incredible. I caught myself taking pictures and I realized, why am I even bothering? I should just watch it the whole time. All right, so that was it, folks. That was Totality in Kingdom City, Missouri. We lucked out big time. We had just a tiny little sliver of clear skies that hit just as Totality occurred, which allowed us to see that full corona. And that's just one of the coolest things I think I've ever seen in my entire life. Okay. Basically, you're going to see it just in reverse, so I'm going to probably end this live feed now. Thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I don't know if that's possible, but I hope you enjoyed as much as I did. Great time here in Kingdom City. I hope you guys were able to travel. I know there's a lot of cloud cover in the tri-state area. I hope you're at least able to catch a glimpse of it at some point. This is why we were talking about it for so long. I don't know if people can appreciate the little things. It's the little things like that that are very rare. It just makes things so very, very cool. All right. So with that said, have a great rest of your Monday. We're going to have a recap tonight on KHQA News at 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. You're not going to want to miss it. I'm going to get some initial reaction. I'm going to go race down these people before they start leaving on me. Have a good rest of your evening. Yeah, happy Monday.